Ever go to an event only to find out you parked in a no parking zone? Meet Bridgette Bilson, founder of TowTrackWhiz, an app that lets you instantly track your car after it's been towed.
Welcome to Code and Capital. We have Bridgette Bilson in the house. She is the CEO and founder of TowTrackWhiz app. This is an amazing new app that just got launched recently. We were actually at her launch party. Amazing event.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys for bringing me on today. I'm looking forward to answering any of your questions.
Yeah, we're so excited to talk to you. The first thing we want to find out is how you got into tech and how did the idea come about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm one of those people that my journey into tech is pretty unconventional.
Okay.
So in undergrad, I studied English. From there, I went to law school. In law school, I was also doing my MBA as well. And I knew very quickly that I didn't want to practice law. So my last year of law school, I was actually interviewing while my mates were prepping for the bar. I was interviewing for different roles, and I ended up in consulting at Accenture. Through that, I met a couple of people who were doing GRC, a couple of colleagues, and once they knew I had that law background, GRC just made sense with that governance and compliance piece. And so I ended up getting into GRC, and that's how I got into tech. Yeah.
Awesome. So you have a law degree.
Yes.
But you didn't practice law.
No.
I know, because I'm also in the governance space. There are a lot of regulations that the law degree definitely makes sense as well. Just tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you face. Somebody that was in law, get into tech, do you face any challenges trying to navigate those two worlds?
I think it depends what area you go into. So tech is very broad, but I think within the GRC space, that's where, if you have a legal background, that's probably where you would shine the most because of that policy, that analysis piece from doing law school can really help you. So I write a lot of policies and procedures for my current company. I give a lot of presentations. I have to do a lot of analysis when it comes to control testing. And so it reminds me of what I did in law school. So I think it definitely helps if you go into GRC with that legal background.
Awesome.
Yes.
So actually, I think it would be helpful if you actually told people what your app does.
Yes, absolutely. So I do remember you asking how that idea came about. Honestly, my car got towed and it was a very frustrating process. It happened January 1st, 2025. And yeah, when that happened, it just was a light bulb moment went off in my head where I didn't know where my car was. The apartment complex hadn't opened yet, so we couldn't call and figure out who had my car. And I was questioning why there wasn't an app or a website or something to make this process a bit more convenient. And so that's where the idea came from.
Wow. So the app literally helps you find out who towed your car.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's a big problem, actually.
Yeah, no, it really is. And there's three main functionalities of the app. So the first one is to, you said, help you find your car when it's been towed. The second functionality is to send alerts. So let's say you see a tow truck in the area, you can send an alert so people can move their cars. And when you send an alert, you have the opportunity to earn up to $10. Oh. And then we use that data from when you send the alert to create a hot zones map. So it'll tell you what parts of the city have high and low towing so you avoid parking there. Yeah.
Okay, so again, congratulations on
Thank
the app.
you.
I know I was at a launch party as well. So how did you get the whole thing to be launched, right? From start to finish, who did you reach out to? Who did you talk to? How did you get a developer? How did you build your team? Just explain that process to us. So for people that are interested in building their app, maybe they can get tips from you.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I did at the very beginning was validate before executing. So it's good to have an idea, but not all ideas are good ideas. So I think it's important to ask around, talk to people. Don't even tell them it's your idea. Just say, hey, I've heard about XYZ. What do you think? And get those real and honest feedback. So I did that very, very early on. I did a presentation for some of my closest friends that I thought were very smart people. They would give me the real and honest truth. And so during that presentation, they gave me good feedback about the app. From there, I put together a team. The three things I looked for, and this is something I took from my pastor, was aptitude, attitude, and availability. I need smart people who are available, who can execute with a good attitude. I chose my team based on those characteristics, and then from there, I had them help me look for developers. So we split up our time. We looked on Fiverr. We asked around in our inner circle. We posted on social media.
I know like choosing a developer for your app must have been a challenging process. I've been there, done that. I'm also an app developer, so I know it's very challenging. And picking the wrong one could end up costing you a lot of money. So I want to know how you went about actually picking the right developer that made sense for you guys.
Yes. So I'm a very type A person. I'm also very particular. I will not pick someone that doesn't align with my vision. Okay. So I created a PowerPoint to outline exactly what I want. We interviewed about 5 developers with my PowerPoint, and if they felt like they couldn't do it, or if they asked the wrong questions, I knew the right questions that I wanted to hear. If they asked the wrong questions, they were not the right person. I also had a very detailed MVP outline that I wanted to see, and I built the app on Replit first.
Okay.
Because, yes, but it wasn't like functional. It's just, I wanted them to,
Prototyping,
see the vision, but I showed it to them after the interview process. Once the interview process was done and I picked my developer, I then showed him what I wanted. He was very clear that he could execute it. He also had some really great ideas to add in addition to what I had, so I knew I chose the right person.
Awesome.
Because he's adding value to what I'm already envisioning. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so it's a double detailed process. Can you just talk about Replit a little bit for people that don't know what Replit is?
Yeah, so Replit is, I guess it's like a website where you can build your own app or website. I don't know how it's different or similar to Lovable because I've used both, but I feel like Lovable for me was easier to make a website, and then Replit was easier to make the app. Yeah, you basically can use ChatGPT to help you write out what you want from Replit. You copy and paste it into Replit. You can toy with it as much as you want and come out with the perfect version that you're looking for. But Fiverr was a really great help because that's actually where I found my developer. When I found my developer, again, another PowerPoint slide. I told him what I want it to look like, the look and feel, and he executed beautifully. Yeah, and then from there, we just submitted it to Apple. We did get rejected at first, unfortunately, but after that rejection, they approved it, and then it was on the app stores.
That's quite normal. Coming from an app developer,
Yes,
Apple
sure.
always rejects you a couple of times, so that's actually amazing.
So how did you take that rejection?
Oh, I took it so hard. I was in shambles. No, I took it very hard because I'm one of those people, I execute with precision. I work by timelines. I know when I want something done, and if it's not done in that allotted time, I take it very hard. So it was a difficult few weeks, but my developer assured me that this is normal, like you said,
Right.
and he just had to do a little bit of tweaks here and there, and then it got approved. So it was challenging, but I had a good group of people. My team was very strong and solid with supportive words. It helped.
I have more questions.
Oh, okay.
What did Apple say when they say, okay, your app ain't going to App Store? What did they say?
Oh, I don't remember, but I think it had something to do with our privacy policy, something about having people's location being turned on.
Okay.
So I think that was what the issue was.
Privacy,
So we
that
had
makes
to
sense.
read it.
Then make sure people's
Yes.
information is secured. I
Yes.
think sometimes I think you have the right privacy policy on your app or your websites. That solves that issue. I'm not sure what the developer did.
Yeah.
That solved that issue.
Yeah, I think he had to rewrite the purpose for why we needed the location on, because at first it was just vague and they were like, no, this looks sketchy. So we had to rewrite it and tailor it more to the specific needs of the app.
I know, again, like I said, congratulations. So
Thank
what are
you.
some of your personal goals? We are in a new year. I'm pretty sure you have lots of goals, a lot of things you want to achieve. Your personal brand, what is that looking like for you 2026?
Yeah, I think for my personal brand, I definitely want to engage more with the tech world. The only reason that I have been going to a lot of these conferences and a lot of these events is because of my app. But in terms of my personal brand, I also want people to know what I do in the GRC space. I also want to provide a space for people to ask questions about how to get into either tech or how to get into law school. So I just want to open myself up to maybe some mentorship. In addition to that, I want to just tailor my walk with God a little bit better, because that is something that's very important to me, and I wouldn't be where I am today without God. So that's something that I'm actively working on this year. And I think the last thing would be developing another app. So, yeah, so a lot of people don't know, but when I was in undergrad, I actually had an app with one of my best friends, SA. We had an app, and it was so that if you were in college, you wouldn't have to go back home to look for a hairdresser. The app was geared towards university students, and it was like by dorms. So at UT, let's say we had 5 dorms. Each of the dorms would have hairdressers listed in the app, so you can find people right on the app to do your hair. You don't have to travel all the way back to Houston or Dallas. So we were doing that for some time, but I am not a very technical person,
Right.
and SA is, but we just didn't really have the time to really put into it. So, yeah, I have something else brewing up in my mind this year, so looking
And
forward
this
to doing
is
that.
the perfect time to get it done,
Yes,
honestly.
yes.
So we are rooting for you.
Thank you
Yes,
so
you are.
much.
We are
Thank
rooting
you
for
so
you.
much.
That's amazing.
Switching gears, let's go to the promo side. So what was
Yes.
your marketing plan? How were you going to get this product that you've built and engineered out to the people?
Yes, that was something I had not originally thought about, which is why I said I looked for someone with that aptitude, because I'm not a really good social media person, but I feel like the people on my team are really good with social media. And so what we wanted to do was organic content. We wanted to use our friends and our family to pitch this idea out to people. So we made our Instagram page, our TikTok page, and we just started shooting videos amongst ourselves. I started using Canva a lot to create a lot of the designs and the elements that we have on our social media. Right now, we're currently using something called Gem Social, where you can
Okay.
find influencers and pay them to create content for you. So that's the next phase of what we're looking at, because as things are going forward, we don't have as much time to dedicate to social media, so we're outsourcing that at the moment.
So what does traction look like for you guys right now?
Yeah, so we launched in November, and right now we're at about 200 users across 3 major cities. So that's better than what I expected. I had low numbers initially, just so I don't shoot myself in the foot. I just feel it's important to set realistic goals, but this definitely surpassed the numbers that we thought we were going to get. So it's looking good.
So now, is it a paid app? Is it a free app? How does it
Yeah.
work? How are you guys making money? Let's talk about that.
Money.
Capital.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the capital a little bit.
Yeah, because we are spending a lot of money, but
Yeah.
it is a free app. I said the goal was to help people through a process that's very tedious and it could be very frustrating. So I didn't want to have people, trying to find your car. Now you have to pay for this app. That just would create a lot of friction. So it's free. It's going to be free for a good amount of time. Obviously, once we scale, we are going to have some sort of subscription model, but that's going to be way in the long term. In terms of how we're getting money, that's also something that we've been talking to. Partnerships is what we're looking into at the moment. City partnerships and partnerships with other mobile app platforms that help with parking and things like that. Some of these apps, they'll tell you where to park in the city, how much it's going to cost you. But if you were to park there and get towed, they're not helping you. So that's where we come in. So those are the type of partnerships we're looking into to help us with our funding.
Awesome. Okay.
So, I've gotten told before, and I understand that it cost me almost $500 to get my car and
Yes.
pay the parking tickets.
Yes.
That's why I parked on the streets, and there was not the sign that shows you get towed. So, from that standpoint, are you thinking about placing signs that, okay, in places where they're getting towed, you could have a TowTrackWhiz to track your car and you get towed? Is that also the plans, or is that future thinking?
Yeah, so that's why I mentioned the city partnership. So that's a city initiative. And in order for the city to do that, they need data to tell them where these things are occurring. It can't just be a one-off, while they got told, okay, now the city is up in arms, right? So we have to show them that data that, hey, in this location, 77053, people are getting told because there's not the right signage. And that's where we come in. So that's why we're really heavily invested right now in our city partnerships. And it also matters because, for example, FIFA is coming this year. It's going to be a lot of tourists in town, spring break. A lot of people are flocking to these major cities, and we want to make sure the city has the right infrastructure in terms of parking, mobility, transportation, and so that's where TowTrackWhiz comes in with that assistance of providing the right data to them.
So I want you to talk about yourself a little bit, right? Because what you're doing is amazing. I want to give you
you.
flowers now.
Thank you.
So how do you feel on the inside having accomplished an app on the App Store?
Honestly, I feel blessed. I have to give credit to God because one thing I prayed about in 2024 going into 2025 was an idea or a business that would impact my generation, where if I'm not there, something is still speaking on behalf of myself. And I feel like that's where this idea came into place, because even if Bridgette is no more, TowTrackWhiz is going to speak for itself. I feel accomplished. I feel happy because not only am I doing this, but I'm doing this with the right people. I really put a lot of thought into the people I brought onto my team. And so I'm happy because I know the future looks bright for us. So
That's amazing.
one of the feature enhancements that we're looking into this year is an AI feature where he said, maybe there is no signage, but what if there is signage and it's confusing? It says no parking from 9 to 3, but on Saturdays 2 to 5, blah, blah. That's just very confusing. You're in a rush. You use your app to scan the sign and it'll tell you, yes, you can park here. It's Saturday, you can definitely park here and you won't get towed. Or it's Sunday, no, you can't park here. The sign is basically saying don't park on Sunday. So it'll simplify the signage that the city's putting up. That way you can avoid getting towed.
Okay, where did the name TowTrackWhiz come from?
Yes, I like the word whiz because I just feel whiz is someone that's smart, crafty, very knowledgeable. I think of myself as a whiz because I just know a little bit about everything. And that's the app. It just knows a little bit about everything. It's going to help you out of those tough situations. It has to do with towing, and we're tracking your car. So TowTrackWhiz.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about the future for TowTrackWhiz. Are you thinking about expanding to different cities? Is it just Houston at this point, or how's that expansion look like? What does that journey look like? What's the timeframe?
Yeah, so in terms of our users, we have users across multiple cities so far: Dallas, Houston, Austin. We have users in New York. So we are expanding. When it comes to helping you locate your cars, we only do that in select cities, but we're looking to expand. It takes a lot of time and research because we have to see what each city does, and cities are divided by suburbs, and sometimes you may live in the Southwest and they do different than the Northeast. It's a lot of time to put into it, but we definitely want to expand it to other cities, especially when it comes to our city partnerships, because I think that's where we're going to get a lot of the hard work done with helping our users so that they can avoid getting towed.
Okay. So what do you do for fun? Let's get to know you a little bit better.
Fun, what is that?
When you're not working and building
I know.
empires.
Wow. Sorry, that's such a good question because I do a lot, but for fun, I like to read.
Okay.
So right now I'm reading a terrible book. I do not like this book, but I'm going to finish it. But it's called The Arcane Inheritance. I like to spend time with my friends and my family. I like to go out to eat. I recently bought a bike. I don't know how to ride a bike, but I bought a bike. So I'm going to learn how to ride that bike. But for fun, I also like to make money. So I nanny on the side. Yeah, every weekend I go nanny. I love kids.
I've never heard of that before.
Oh, yeah. I have a care.com, so book me on there, $20 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I like to do a lot. I'm the type of person, I can't just do one thing. A 9 to 5, I can't just do that. I have to have,
That's the kind of me. You
yeah,
gotta
no,
have
I
extra
have to
hats.
have multiple things going on. Yeah.
We like to ask this question because I'm
Yes.
also in the tech space. For the next generation, they're looking to, okay, I also want to do what Bridgette is doing. What are some of the advice would you give that next generation of, or maybe career choices in law, needing necessarily to do tech? So what would be your advice for the next generation? They're trying to build something in technology or build an app or build a solution that could change the world.
Yeah, I think that you shouldn't get bogged down with being like the conventional person. You don't have to go to school and major in computer science to get into tech, right? You have to exhaust all resources. That's number one. If you want to get into something, research, look into it, talk to people, exhaust all those resources first. Number two, I feel like you have to surround yourself with the people that you want to be like. I wanted to get into GRC. I made friends who are in GRC and they helped me. They advised me. You need to know where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, because that's going to determine who you surround yourself with. If I'm already good at speaking in public, my friends, I need to make sure that they are good at something else so I can learn from them. So that's what that means. And then I think the third thing is to set realistic goals, right? AI is something that's coming out right now, but you can't say, oh, tomorrow I want to learn all about AI and coding and this. You have to be very realistic with what you want and set those realistic expectations.
So how can people find you? They want to connect with you. Where's the app? Where's the app? You have a website. How can people find you? How can people connect with you?
Yes. So if you want to connect with me, I have an Instagram. It's Bridgette_Bilson. LinkedIn, Bridgette Bilson. And then our app is on the App Store. It's TowTrackWhiz. It's one word. Yeah, I'm available to talk if you need advice, law, tech, app. I'm here.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
We are
Thank you
rooting
so
for you.
much.
That's amazing. Shout out to Bridgette. Shout out to TowTrackWhiz. It's Coding Capital.
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.